I got a quick little fun bit from the Wall Street Journal. Uh, Headline: Ghost gun firms find new ways to sell DIY weapons as U.S. rule takes effect. So if anyone isn't aware of what a ghost gun is, it's just any homemade firearm that does not have a serial number on it. This you can make a ghost gun with a couple of metal tubes at Home Depot and a shotgun shell. But what's gotten the press on ghost guns going was that there are companies out there such as ghostguns.com, run by Cody Wilson, who are just heroes making gun proliferation wildly easy. But I mean, it's a fairly long article, but here's the gist of it. They made new laws trying to regulate quote unquote ghost guns that went to effect in end of August, I believe. But all they have to do to sidestep the new rule is, so they sell 80% receivers. The receiver is the part of a firearm that the ATF considers to be the gun. So if it's only 80% completed, you don't need any sort of background checks or anything like that. So basically what they were doing was they would sell you a kit with an 80% receiver and a jig to set it up so that you can use your drill press to turn that 80% into 100%. And in order to sidestep this wide encompassing law that's going to save millions, if not billions of lives, is they're going to sell the receivers with the jig separately.
Wow.
That's good job, government.
Good job.
There you go.
And then my favorite is at the very end, gun control advocates have also said that any change that makes it more difficult to obtain and build a ghost gun is worthwhile to deter crime.
Now, are ghost guns also considered the 3D printed guns, or is that just considered a separate category? Because obviously in the Liberty community, we know that 3D printed gun scene be poppin', and they post memes about it all the time. They say the debate is settled. You're not doing anything about it. As long as people have access to printing these 3D guns, it's game over.
And it has been a while since I was kind of in the world, but it was probably pre-COVID. I remember hearing about some guys that were working on a smokeless gunpowder that you could possibly make and use at home in case they try to regulate ammo. But yeah, ghost gun is just defined as any firearm that is not serialized.
Yeah. I think you could also consider a commercially manufactured gun that's had its serial number scratched off a ghost gun as well.
I believe that's accurate.
Based.
I do believe that is what is the majority of the roughly 20,000 ghost guns that were reported to the ATF as having been recovered by law enforcement in 2021. Because I don't think that most people that have the technical capabilities, I mean, it's not like it's difficult to 3D print a firearm, but it seems like a lot of effort when you could just go steal one.
Yeah. And 3D printers aren't cheap, and especially if you want to get one that's good enough to make a quality output like that.
They're
And
He's
shout out, sorry, Justin, I just want to say
Okay.
really quick, shout out Sal Mayweather. He actually has a site 3D printer go brr. And he sells 3D printers to do that. And there's a lot of people online that do share their work and show you how to, to make what you're looking for.
Yeah, and I think a lot of the more reliable firearms that you can make at home, are, like the kits. I don't know if they still do after the law came into effect, but they were selling it with a CNC machine. But on ghostguns.com, they're just selling the Creality Ender 3 V2 3D printer, which is it's less than $300, and that's really all you need.
Yeah, and you can make some mods to that. So I have like, I think I have an Ender 3 or something like that. And allegedly that's totally fine to make exactly what you would need. But there are some recommendations for modifications out there. My understanding is that they're simple, but I don't know. I haven't done it.
Yeah, the CNC machine is called the Ghost Gunner, which you can buy from ghostguns.com. And they also sell, 0%, like starter kits and everything. So basically, you just get chunks of metal,
billet aluminum.
yeah, and then
I don't know that I would
punch in
feel
the code.
comfortable using a gun that was made on a 3D printer. I don't know.
It was definitely an evolution. You can go on YouTube and watch the very first 3D printed guns being fired, and they're like standing 100 feet back behind bulletproof glass with a string pulled on the trigger. And it took a lot of different research and development, but especially with the advancements of different 3D polymers, like the plastics that you can print, they're really strong and heat resistant.
They've come a long way for sure. There are definitely people on, at least that I used to follow on Twitter, that would have, they would show themselves shooting multiple rounds out of what they were able to print at home.
Yeah.
It does seem like it had come a long way.
And then not maybe we need to get a sponsorship from ghostguns.com, but they also sell with their Ghost Gunner USB flash drives that have all the software on it. So you just literally plug it all in, hit enter, and then come back tomorrow and you have your ghost gun. I wonder if it's gonna work to kill ghosts.
I gotta say, I really love the idea of these 3D printed guns. It's a boon to freedom in the world. And I know that's it's not a unique thought, but we think about these very tyrannical regimes in the world, and the people living there can't really do anything. But now they just need one guy on the block to have a 3D printer, and you've got an armed rebellion on your hands.
Yeah.
And you've got more freedom in the world. Now, of course, with the good comes the bad. You've got people who, of course, are going to use that to try to take over the village next door to them. And that's not good, but...
Well, they aren't going to be able to do that because that warlord is backed by the CIA.
Right.
Yeah. But it's at least good to have an option. And I know there are some people that think like, look, ultimately you're not going to do anything with just your regular basic weapons. And I know we have examples of that not being accurate. Vietnam, Afghanistan, these are dirt poor people, and they stood up. However, having said that, it was not just an easy, it wasn't easy. How long were we in Afghanistan? 20 years, 2 decades. So that's a long time to be grinding it out. And, the president says we need F-15s or F-14s or whatever. And maybe there is something to that with the technological advances that they have made that we probably don't even know about. But yeah, I think it's overall positive, because who knows, You know,
An armed society is a polite society.
100%.
Yep.